Hello, everyone. Welcome to Wake the Fuck Up. I am Uncle Lee. Major Hemorrhoid has the day off. So, what do we have for today's show? Well, this might be a little interesting for a few of you, for some of you. This is kind of a love letter to my former self, the person I was as a teenager, the shit that I had to go through, and the message for today's youngsters, people with traumatic experiences, how to get through it, and hopefully it goes well. We'll see. I don't know. This might be a little interesting one from me personally, because I'm definitely going to go over personal shit. And for those of you who don't know me as a person, this will be very eye-opening as to why I am the way I am and who I am today. Because I'm an old man. I have to admit it. I am an old man. I'm in my late middle ages, I guess. I'm not quite to retirement age quite yet, but I'm getting a lot closer than I used to be. So, to myself, I'm not really sure at what age to direct this to. That's the other part too, because a lot of people have moments where they want to go back to and maybe make a different decision and maybe have a better or different life than they had. Unfortunately, there is no pause and there is no reset button. So whatever decisions you make go a long ways, and they last a long time. Some decisions never, ever get lived down. And that's the point I'd make to myself. It's like, you've been gung-ho, you've been rah about yourself, and, you know you're good, and you can get shit done, but you take it for granted. Take it for granted. A lot of the things you've done, a lot of the things you've had to go through, you take it for granted. And I'm trying to come up with an age where you might understand it without context, because your youthfulness doesn't give you the experience necessary, or you haven't been through something yet to, kind of pound this in. But you need to live for yourself more than others. You need to develop yourself and continue to develop yourself, your skills, your talents, your knowledge base, your intelligence. I mean, your knowledge, your wisdom, everything. You need to develop your mind. Stop focusing so much on book smarts and over being overly intelligent. I would say that to you, because your street smarts, your people smarts, those are going to help you far more in the long run, especially when it's time to have to start dealing with people that you will benefit from. Where do I talk to myself? I mean, at what point do I talk to myself? Do I talk to myself before all the traumatic bullshit? And at what point was that? Was that when the tug of war between my parents were going on? Was that the tug of war that she had with me in doing some very ugly shit? Does it happen when I was molested? Before or after? Do I tell myself about that? And how that's going to fuck me over for quite a number of years. The suicidal attempts, the depression, the endless depression. How should I tell myself before that? How about before the disease hit, before the acne fulminans hit? Should I tell myself about that? And how dealing with that and how to deal with that, or do I let myself go through it? Again, there's no pause and resets. Regret, you can't live with it. You need to drop it. Bad luggage. You need to drop it. Regret and just, I should have done this and I should have done that. You need to just drop it. You're only going to make yourself miserable by having regret for all the things that could have been different. So I would tell myself, and I would tell you, that a lot of the trauma that you're going to go through is going to make you a better person as long as you deal with it properly. Understand why it happened, understand the things that you did wrong, and try to correct them. Know that you're not doing things wrong when some of the evil and horrible shit that humanity does to others and to itself comes a calling. You have to see it, and unfortunately you have to experience it in order to know what to look for in the future. I went through some therapy. I went through some counseling for, the first chunk without really saying anything about it, because I buried that shit. I really didn't fucking try to reface it until somewhere in my late 30s, early 40s, when I was just like, it creeps up every once in a while when I hear about the child molesting stories, or the Holly weird shit that goes on where, celebrities may or may not be having these parties, where, underage rape is going on. It's like, ooh, let's kill these bastards. Let's string them up by the fucking clitoris or by the testicles, whichever one they've got going on for themselves. Hurting children is something that I do not appreciate. And because I was one once. And when I was hurt, didn't appreciate it. Didn't know how to deal with it. Because that's the thing. When this was going on, this is when I was living with my mother. And am I going to tell her? No. I didn't trust her. I didn't believe in her. She had already stolen from me at that point. She had already manipulated me, browbeated me into fucking my father over and doing stupid shit with her. And, she wasn't the one who did it. But, yeah, am I going to tell her? Fuck no. For all I know, she'll tell me I'm lying, and then she'll beat me again for making such accusations, and then it goes on from there. Which is another reason why whenever I hear the stories about, let's put them back with their parents or not believe the kids, I was like, if the kids tell them the truth and you put it back with the abusive person, yeah, you're essentially telling that kid, fuck you. I knew that was what my mother was going to tell me. Fuck you. She hadn't told me anything much more than that my entire life at that point. It's just what it is. And for those of you who are going, mothers are awesome, mothers are wonderful, yeah, some of them are. Some of them aren't. And if you're not willing to face that, then you're part of the problem. And you're part of the reason why kids don't say shit when they're being molested. Because they know damn well somebody like you is there. If you're willing to discount something like that, that's why you're supposed to investigate shit. Innocent until proven guilty, both for the accuser and the accused. You're not supposed to degrade the accuser and put them right back into the same shit that they were going through. Yeah, I'm a little emotional right now because it's kind of painful. Don't exactly like talking about my personal life or some of the shit I've had to go through, but I know it needs to be done because there are some of you out there who probably are going through something similar, and it's like, what the fuck am I supposed to do? What are you supposed to do? Well, let's see. You've got to believe that authority is willing to back you up. Well, if authority isn't willing to back you up, or you can't trust the authority to back you up and keep you safe from what's going on, you're not going to say shit. And you're not going to go forward with it. And maybe somebody picks it up that cares and gives a shit and is going to push it through. But what does that do for you? You got to believe, you got to have faith in a system that's corrupt, that's against you at times, seems like it's against you. You think it's going to back you up? You're not going to. So you put yourself in further isolation, bury shit deep, deep down, becomes PTSD level shit to where you're just like anything even remotely close to the feelings you got when that shit happened, just goosebumps, fucking you just feel like shit, and you're just like, what the fuck is going on? And it comes back to that buried shit. So what do you have to do? Well, number one, you have to remember that people are fucking evil and you can't control everybody. Number two, you have to, when you get that feeling, trust it, because chances are it's happening for a very subconscious programming reason. It's your little warning noise, your spidey sense that lets you know that something bad's here and you probably shouldn't be tolerating it and you probably should leave. I know I've had a few moments in life where I'm like, should I be here? Probably not. Let me take off. And whatever bad happened that night to the people that were there, whether it happened or not, I wasn't a part of it. It wasn't my deal. Therefore, let's go. Give you an example. It's not one of those shitty ones. It's just, it's kind of a, you have to trust yourself and what you're thinking. I'm with a buddy of mine and another buddy of ours. We always hung out together, and we were playing the shit out of Madden one night. Well, one of the people I knew from work invited me to a party. Girl I knew, 19, 20, college age. I'm 25, I think, at this point. And she's like, hey, come to the party. There'll be plenty of beer. We'll all be getting drunk, having fun, yada-da-da-da. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Sounds like a party. I look over at my buddy, and, other dude's playing Madden. He's in the middle of his game. I'm like, you want to go check it out? And he's like, yeah, sure, what the hell. Let's see what the college kids are up to these days. Because we're both 25, 26, whatever it was at that point. And so we go to the party. And, yeah, it's a lot of drinking. A lot of teenager, post-teenager people, college kids. So, they're not all over 21. Okay? Before you get that twisted. Okay? They're all underage drinking, probably. Almost all of them. And, yes, they're college kids, so that shit happens. If you're going to get uptight about it, fuck off. Okay? So, we're at the party. We're drinking. Pop a couple beers. We're chit-chatting with, the host, and she goes off to have her fun with her friends and everything else, and we're just kind of standing around. People are playing video games, people are bullshitting, people are drinking, people are having a good time, and we're just sitting there. And keep in mind, we're mid-20s, they're late teens, very early 20s, and we're just like, you want to go play some Madden? It's like, yeah, let's go back and play some Madden. So we're like, hey, we're out. We're cool. You guys have fun and enjoy. We're going to go, do our thing. And she's like, oh, okay, we'll have a good one. It's like, we walked out the door. We both grabbed the beer on the way out, obviously. And we head back to the house, sat back down in our chairs, sofa, wherever we were sitting at, and got back to Madden. And we were like, yeah, they were having fun, but it's just not us anymore. you're going to have those moments where it's just like you need to trust your instinct. Do I want to get out of here because this really isn't right for me? Yeah, it's a good idea. Any trouble that might have jumped off? Because obviously we're the oldest people there, so if cops decide to raid, we're the ones get popped. So there's a real reason to leave. And let's face it, we're not in college anymore. We're fucking, what's now called young adults. But no, we're fucking adults. We're 25. Okay? There's no two ways about it. We're fucking adults. Hate this trying to demarcate shit and try to reduce age to this like weird set of adjectives that diminishes what we are. We're fucking adults. The moment you're 18, for the most part, you're an adult. Even though they're trying to make it to where you're not an adult until 21 because you can't do all the shit that you want to do, like drink, smoke, have a good time, but you can join the military at 18. It's like you can go defend our country, but you can't have a beer. Oh, by the way, if you're in other countries, you can have beers and alcohol and have a good time and do things, but if you come back here, you're not supposed to. That's freedom in this country for you. So remind yourself that things are confusing on its own. But as far as it goes, what I keep telling myself, again, where do I jump in? Where do I push the reset button? Tell myself all the things I need to hear from myself, from future self. And would I even take it seriously? Isn't that further proof that you've just got to go through it? You got to deal with it. How do you deal with the things? Well, cold logic helped me. Over-emotionalization and dramatic bullshit never helped because I'm looking for the answers on how to deal with the shit. I'm not looking for ridiculous, placating, rhetorical diarrhea to somehow make me feel better about the horrors of life. Go fuck yourself. I want to know how to deal with it, because obviously I'm not allowed to handle it the way at times it needs to. Like, would I go back and axe the person who did it to me? Like, no, not ask, axe. I definitely would have told my friends, or told myself, stay the fuck away from that person. He's not your friend. That's some emotional baggage you do not want carrying around. Yeah. It sucks. Like I said, pretty much tore my life apart. Fucked me over completely for a while. And I guess once I learned how to bury it and let it be a subconscious kind of fuckery stick, maybe I was able to deal with things better. Because I know once I started emotionalizing this shit, it was just like, anytime I think about it, it's just like, and it didn't help because emotions just will take you on a fucking roller coaster ride that usually doesn't end positively, especially if you let it control you. If you let your emotions control you, it's not going to end well. You need to lead with your head because your heart is stupid. It does not think. It emotionalizes. And it's liable to lead you to do crazy shit. So don't emotionalize shit. Understand why it happened. Excuse me, I need a drink. Understand why it happened. Well, the person was evil. Didn't matter to them. Consequences of what they were doing. They just wanted to seek personal pleasure and used me as an outlet. It was great. Didn't care about consequences, just wanted to do what was best for themselves. That's the other thing I'd tell myself. It's like a lot of the traumatic shit that you're going to go through is going to teach you that most people don't care about your fucking problems and will do whatever they want to you if they think they can get away with it. And if you don't give them a reason to fear you, they will use you. That's what I would say. So you need to approach life without naivete, without, I don't want to say hope, but it's almost like that. It's like unplug the hope monitor from your fucking life and your emotions and your mentality and just understand that humanity can suck. And you got to learn to deal with it your own way. I make jokes constantly, you know. I laugh at almost everything. And I try to let it slide off like, you know, water on a duck's back. And for the most part, it works out well. I keep it in my head as far as what's going on and all of the consequences of it. But for the most part, I try to laugh things off. I come up with comedy. I come up with jokes. My humor is very dark, obviously, because dark shit, life, everything else, it sucked. But you got to plow through it. And that's the biggest fucking lesson I learned in life. I mean, I'll give you plow through it. Because you have to. Because if you don't, wallowing in misery and self-pity doesn't work. And it makes your life fucking miserable. And the longer you carry that into your future, the more miserable you become until you've torn your life apart to where the moment you get into the end years or the middle to end years, your life is dog shit. You ever seen a 60-year-old meth head? Seriously, you ever seen a 60-year-old meth head? Does it look positive? No, but that's from life choices gone from 40, 50 years down the fucking road. They got that way for a reason. They kept saying yes when they should have said no. They kept sticking around when they should have walked away. They didn't learn the lessons of the misery and suffering and just kept on going thinking it was going to get better, not admitting to themselves that it wasn't. And that's another point I want to make to you. You have to make a choice, a hard choice at some point. It defines who you are. It defines your character. It defines what you are about. And what I am about to tell you is who I am in a nutshell. I'm going to leave you with this because I think it's poignant and I think you need to understand why this is the case. I'm 14 years old. I can't walk. My muscles had atrophied to the point where I could not support my own weight, and I could not walk upright. And my skin has eaten itself from the inside out, creating cysts everywhere, which means that, look up acne fulminans, okay? You'll find pictures and you will be aghast. So we'll start with that. But it's morning, I just woke up. And normally I'm sleeping on my shoulders because if I don't, because of the cysts on my back and my chest, I may find myself stuck to the sheets. Crusted, stuck to the sheets. And I just woke up and I gotta piss. I gotta piss. Badly. And I'm on my back, stuck to the sheets. And I have a choice to make. I have a choice to make. And this is what defines you as a person. Little choices like this, easy choice versus hard choice. This is why you have to make the hard choice in times where the easy one could have been made and yada, yada, yada. I got two choices. One of them is the correct one. One of them is the one I should go with. The other one is not. Which one is this? And what are my choices? You may have figured it out. You may have not. But here are my choices. I can either stay stuck to the bed, piss myself, and then try to pull myself off softly and gently later and clean the mess up. That's choice number 1. Choice number 2. Remember, I can't walk. I can't support my own weight. So I have to rip myself off the bed sheets. I have to crawl my way into the bathroom. I have to lift myself up, and then I have to piss. Which choice do you think I made? Give you a couple seconds. Here's the better question. What choice would you have made? Remember, you've been getting stuck to a bed now for 3 weeks. You've been trying to sleep on your shoulder in your sleep for the most part. You feel excruciating pain every time you have to rip yourself off of these sheets, because this isn't the first time this has happened. So I'm going to ask again, what choice would you have made? Because I remember the choice I made. I ripped myself up off those sheets. Probably screamed, probably yelled. Then I arm crawled my way into the bathroom. I got myself up onto the toilet seat and I took a piss. And then I crawled back into the bedroom. Probably cursed a lot. And then it was sometime later that day, physical therapy to get my stuff re-loosened up so I could relearn how to walk again. People talk about fucking trauma like it's, like it's a thing to have, like it's the thing you need to make it through life. And in a way it is. But it's the lessons you learn from your trauma that really do make a difference. It's the choices you make going through your traumas that make a difference in the long run. It's not about your selfishness. It's not about making an easy and convenient choice so you could get out of the shittiness of life. No, you have to make the hard choice when it matters most, or when it even doesn't seem like it matters most. You have to make the hard choice because that's how you grow. That's how you become a better person. That's how you do the things that you need to do to make your life better. Because taking the easy way out makes you, especially down the road, fear, twinge away, recoil from difficulty. You run away instead of run towards. And I really strongly caution against that. I've seen people run away from pain and trauma, and I have done so myself at times just to try to avoid the necessary choices. And they always lead to regret. And regret is not something that you want to live with, remember? You don't need to have a shit ton of regrets. And if you do, you need to drop them off wherever you can and get rid of that bad drama or that bad baggage. Learn from it and move on. And take the lessons of the past, apply them to the future, have a heart with what you do, and make sure that you use your mind with some emotional splattering. Don't let yourself panic. Don't let yourself become so emotional that you lose control of yourself. You need to be strong when it's time to be strong, because making the choice to be easy, to be safe, it's just pissing on yourself. Be tough, be strong, and be the best you can, and stand sometimes when others just want to sit. Be tough, be strong, have a spine, have a heart. Make the tough choices when you can, and hopefully your life will get better because of it. It did. It's like facing some of the nightmare demons from the past. It makes my life better because I understand it better, and I learn to accept it, and I've grown from it. And I hope whatever you're going through as a person, at whatever age you're going through it, I help you learn. Be strong. Have a spine. Think. Use your emotions when necessary and use your heart, but don't let it overrun you. And just do the best you can with what you got. Thank you very much, folks, for tuning into this Wake the Fuck Up podcast. I hope you have a wonderful life, and peace.